Well, we need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big story, a big one, especially with that recent call by the former Deputy Central Bank Governor. We're talking about Kingsley Moghalu, insisting that 50% pay cut should be effected on elected public officers, and all in the bid to really address the current economic hardship that we seem to be facing at the moment. And that's a call that seems to be loudest, especially as it concerns the issue of that. But what we'll do now is go on a quick break, and you do know we need to get message from our sponsors. We're talking about Benita Gas, located right here in Ugedi, and well, you can also get them right there at the Kokoko, and also worry. Let's just get them, and when we'll come back, we'll have more discussions centered on the big story for today.
Oh, yeah, follow the road onto better quality. If you talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Benetta. Gas with the better quality. Benetta gas where they full rich man to Benetta gas. Delivery brother na Shapali. Benetta gas. For Benetta gas, no mago mango. Benetta gas. Different type of gas cylinder. I be like that gas where go last you well out. Benetta gas. Benetta now do Benetta gas. Service in a them they run Benetta gas. Benetta make you carry go.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Benetta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Benetta gas plant, the tequile of gas matters.
Well, if it truly matters to you and you want to improve on your business, the big story is big enough to truly accommodate all your businesses. But anyway, we're still with the business of today, and we're talking about the issue of that recent call, and also the high cost of governance and the call for prudence, especially as it concerns public spending. But anyway, he's spending his time with us and also helping us to really look at it. I'm talking of no other person but Mr. Wilson Ogboji. Well, let's quickly now come back to that very call yesterday by Kingsley Moghalu. Yeah, he feels it is only important that lawmakers should take a 50% pay cut. Not just lawmakers, but also public elected officers should all do that. And he's saying this because of Nigerians are going through quite a difficult time, orchestrated by the removal of the petrol subsidy. And he feels that his call is hinged on the difficult situation many Nigerians are going through. And in solidarity, the lawmakers should take a 50% pay cut. I'm really keen to get your reaction to his call.
Good and well said. Well, this is a sign of things to come. Whether we like it or not, we're going to face the reality of having pay cuts in different sectors of the economy. Our fiscal policies have been faulty for the past 8-9 years. And rather than address them in a pattern that could have made life easy for everyone, at least at a level that we can judge would be better than the previous administration, we have rather made it worse. The result of all this is that whether we like it or not, we are owing heavily. Nigeria is heavily indebted.
87 trillion.
Whether we like it or not.
And rising.
We are going to service our debts. It's an obligation, and whether we like it or not, the other people have a right. Our creditors have a right to come with a pound of flesh. You see what the Chinese have done in very many countries that couldn't meet up with their debt obligations. They have not started to implement that here in Nigeria, but I heard some time ago that there were rumors of Chinese policemen operating in some parts of the country, especially in places where they have mines. They're doing illegal mining, because I call it illegal because the federal government doesn't seem to be benefiting from it. There are powerful individuals who have come up with mining concerns in different parts of the country. Good. The time is coming when we shall account for the negligence of the negligence and recklessness of the past 8 or 9 years. In fact, it is mind-boggling that the APC government has not been able to put anything in place that they can point at as a legacy that they will leave for future governments. The previous administration was downright reckless, leaving nothing to show for 8 years of governance. It seemed as if our economic planners, our budget directors, and whoever is responsible for guiding our monetary policies that have been in office for the past 8-9 years did not take the interest of this country into consideration whenever they were taking their decisions. Reckless borrowing policies of the past Buhari government seem to have continued, and in fact our destination is oblivion.
Okay, well, anyway, before we think of being close to doom, let's still remain with the pay cuts. And why I say let's still remain with the pay cuts, if you take your mind back to August, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, stated that the salaries of lawmakers are not enough. And he said the salary of lawmakers cannot even deal with the demands from their constituents. And then not only he said that he needed the pay rise, now someone is calling for a 50% pay cut. And then not only that, he said these monies are also needed for their aides. Aides that also have all those persons or other persons that depend on them. And if there's now a pay cut, it will definitely affect the aides who have those that definitely benefit from them. And more of a ripple effect. And would it be fair that things are now so expensive, and these lawmakers also go to the market, for us to now demand a pay cut from them? Would that be fair? And would it not affect those dependents on them for a livelihood?
That's a proposal. What Mogalu brought is a proposal.
Because
and
you said it's
and
good.
he has brought it to confront a sector of the country that appears to be the most selfish, most self-centered. The part of it.
That's a strong word.
That's not a strong word. We are in Nigeria. We are all privy to the realities that we face at the moment. You see, that's what I said. We are into a sign of things to come. Now, if we're spending more than 90% of our income, our earnings on debt servicing, so how much? So aren't we living on borrowed money? Aren't we living on borrowed money?
So would it be fair now, because of that?
Looking at the 2023
would
budget,
it be fair for them now to take a 50% pay cut?
I'm coming to that. Now, the budget. We have to take this in from the grassroots. You don't jump to cap what is going to collapse.
Okay.
Now, the budget for this year was based, I think, 22 trillion or 23, or about 22 or 23 trillion.
Yes.
And it was founded on a deficit of about 11 trillion.
Yeah, but the deficit. Let me really expatiate on that. Yeah, it's 23
deficit
trillion.
Budgeting.
Our revenue is 9 trillion. Our borrowing will be 10.78, which is or close to your 11 trillion. And we even have a deficit of almost to GDP ratio is 4.78%. Well, yeah, you're right to that.
Well, that's 2023. We're not talking about 2023.
Yes, 2023. We're still there. 11 trillion deficit.
Quite right.
Yeah.
Now, when you have 11 trillion naira deficit, you are caged. Because, yes, we are caged. The economy is in tatters. You are not producing for export. All you know how to do is borrow money and squander it. If you are borrowing money and you are not going to put it into a place where it is going to generate, revenue for the country, then we are in the doldrums, whether we like it or not. So, you see, when you there's going to be resistance to Mogalu's proposal, whether you like it or not. Nobody's going to listen to it.
Because that's where my next question will actually be.
Yes.
Do you see this ever happening? Do you see the lawmakers
Nobody's going to listen.
And if they do so, would you not bring back the trust Nigerians have for them?
If they allow the court,
yes.
Who will not allow the court? These people there, these people in Abuja. they are going to allow you to remove 50%.
So it will never go happen, even in our dreams.
Not in our dreams at all. Not in our dreams. Don't let anybody make you feel that something like that can happen. Already in your analysis, you talked about what I refer to as a big government. You know, having one person having so many aides, and each of these aides have their own dependents that they must take care of.
Yes.
Are they going to sacrifice the comfort of their family, of their dependents, to please the generality of Nigerians? Mogalo has not even told us that when they cut, because if you say cut 50%, it means there's something you want to use the remaining 50% for. You know, you have to convince these people. If they listen to you at all, you have to convince them that the 50% you want them to forfeit is for public interest. And now, if it is not going to, even if it will yield something, there's going to be resistance. Let's discuss other things, because those people will not allow. They will never allow.
You never see this happening.
It will not happen. We're not in
okay,
Nigeria.
Let's still remain with it, because I'm really keen about it. Now, just this morning, the PDP and the Labour Party and the NNPP fired through firing shots at the federal government as the cost of food items drive inflation to 26.7%, as been stated by the National Bureau of Statistics. And we do know that both at the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly and on many other states, these four major political parties seems to be in the hands of affairs, ruling them. So irrespective of whether it's an APC government, the legislators were telling them to take a pay cut. The public officers were saying they should take a pay cut, are all from different political parties. Now, I'm just saying, would this not need a political approach? We're still talking about convincing them, if they will even listen to our conviction. Will it not take a political approach for everyone involved, irrespective of the political party, irrespective of them saying they are the ones coming to change the narrative? Will it not be imperative and responsible and the best way to go if these political parties all sit down and find a political solution to the high cost of governance? And if that will be, do you even ever see all these different political parties sitting down? Because all they say is that, well, things are hard for Nigerians. But how they can also bring to understand that they have to play a role in ensuring that things also get a bit better for us by taking the pay cut. Do you see a political approach to this as a major solution? Maybe one of the political parties will say, okay, yes, for example, we are this, will definitely, our lawmakers will take a 50% pay cut. Another political party will come up and do so. Do you see this as the only solution to deal with the pay cut?
By and large, it is the ruling party that calls the shots, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
If others come up with a proposal, then look, let's sit down.
If the Labour Party comes out to say, well, our lawmakers will take a 50% pay cut. If NNPP lawmakers come out to say, yes, okay, for our state governor in Kano and every other legislator, we are going to take a pay cut, will the APC resist such?
The APC, whether they will resist such. At the they are in power. Even if the others say we are ready to forfeit, if the final decision will still come from the
majority
the party in
majority.
They are in the majority. They will have to consent before it can be approved for everybody.
Okay.
Now the other point is this. Are you sure the other parties will be honest enough to say, yes, we are ready to forfeit that 50%? Are you sure? Are you convinced they'll be able to do it? I don't see any Nigerian that gets there who wants to throw his own share away.
So irrespective of political divide?
Forget about that one. Nothing is going to happen. I've told you they won't even listen. Even the parties, the opposition parties, and their representatives will not sit down to discuss an issue like this, because the party in power will not come out to discuss anything that their members will not approve. They are not going to, in the first case, they are not going to discuss anything like that. So
So are you saying it's just wishful thinking?
These are wishful thinking. They are all pipe dreams. Nothing like that is going to happen. They wait now and see whether they are going to allow any pay cut. That is the bane of the Nigerian system. Whoever gets there wants to get more. They don't look at the ordinary man as a part of the system that we are operating. So, whichever way you put it, they are not going to accept it. You wait until the time those people that's the opposition parties, will be able to convince their members. When they eventually succeed in convincing their members, well, that will be a step forward.
Okay.
Because the Nigerian masses will now come out and say, oh, if these people are able to accept
because why I ask that, if you look at other climes, that was how most of these reforms tend to be. If you look at the far right and the far left, especially in Europe, we're talking about countries like Sweden and others, they seem to start with either a political party taking a stand on sensitive issues like these and forcing it down the throat of either the ruling party.
Yeah,
but you feel in the Nigerian scenario that is highly unlikely to happen.
It's highly unlikely to happen,
okay,
because many of those countries have established welfare systems that cushion even what affects the ordinary man.
And most of those countries seem not to have to pay their legislators the much we are paying.
Yes, I was going there.
Okay.
I was going there because some of their legislative officials take allowances for sitting. They take allowance. If they have to sit, they don't run their system the way we run ours. If they sit, for that sitting, they take allowance. Many of them are not on salaries. They just take the allowances for every sitting.
Yeah.
So their pattern is such that if you ask them to cut or forfeit a part of what they are earning, they'll be willing to do it.
For the national interest.
Yes, for the national interest. They will be willing to do it. But here, I don't know how many Nigerians actually have a national interest in their thinking. Because the system has been so bastardized by individuals who have come and gone. Everybody seems to proffer a solution that favors him. Nobody thinks of what favors the ordinary citizen. This is the problem we are facing. And not only that, they will tell you that the biting inflation is not affecting only the ordinary Nigerian. It is also affecting they who are making laws.
But is it not affecting them?
But is it affecting them?
It's a question.
Oh, well, it's not affecting them because they are very comfortable. It's what they tell you they are receiving that you know. What they calculate and get there, nobody knows. What are their constituency projects? Do you investigate? Is anybody investigating constituency projects for any lawmaker in Nigeria? Is anybody investigating?
No, that I don't know. But what I know is we need to go on a break now. Then when we come back, we continue our discussion centered on that recent call for public office holders, both elected and appointed, to take a pay cut.